The story in simple, it's about self-actualization, if I can put it. It's a rags to riches story. It's a story that follows a journey of a young man who is determined to succeed in life.
Episode 21, scene 3, 4, and 5, shot 3, take 1. Slate.
Talk to me, Joe. You never in school.
Despite the fact that in Botswana we've had the state broadcaster been broadcasting for more than 10 years, the industry itself, it's very, very small. It's at a very formative stage because we have not had a situation where the industry is moneyed. A lot of producers have been commissioned to do TV programs. So hence, the industry hasn't really grown.
I grew up in the border town of Ramotso, from a family of 5. My sister Kayla, my younger brother Sparks. Every Saturday, our mother used to take us to church with our father. She loved us so dearly. I really want this job, and I'll do anything.
I think he's the one.
I think not. Clearly, the guy has a lot of family baggage to deal with.
So should I guess what was like? Don't start with me, Rose. I am hungry.
Kayla, this is not right. Mom will not be happy with this.
We must survive. We must survive whichever way.
Kayla, we love you. I'm even paying for your school fees. I can give you money for food. What do you need from this guy?
So now that you have a job, I should just discard the man who's been taking care of us all this time.
Mom's policy was doing that.
It was never enough.
Because we were using it to buy expensive labels.
Sparks, you and I both know where some of that money went.
I wanted to protect her. Protect this family.
If you mess this one up, I promise you, your voice.
Name it, Brad. Anything.
My loyal nemesis strike again today. He threatened me. He said, next time, there's going to be a murder. Put your seatbelt on. My character, how can I say, he's ambitious. He wants to make something of himself in life, you know. He's from pretty much nothing, but he has a goal to be somewhere in life and become somebody. And he's very responsible. He wants to take care of his family and his siblings. So he's a responsible young man.
Hi, Sparks. Look at our for dinner. Oh, hi. I've had a long day. Can't you at least be excited to see me?
You too? Thank you. Excuse me.
There's something I want to say to you. Nahat.
What is it?
Sit. Ha.
I and Kayla both lost somebody who was very dear to us at the same age. And it really affected us psychologically, emotionally, and I believe also financially. However, I don't think I know anybody who, in real life, who's like the character Kayla. And I am not like Kayla. No, I'm not. Just because the main difference is that even though we both lost somebody who's dear to us, we had different coping mechanisms. You know, she fell into the hands of an older man who is a family man, and I had other means of coping.
He's loving. He has a family that he loves. He's got respect, you know, for his family. He's not doing this all out in the public open. I've always been very sensitive. I don't want to be seen with my beautiful young girl. So in real life, this thing really happens. People walk out there, and my advice, of course, is very direct. Don't run away from a situation. If you really need love, give love at home. Because you are not going to find it out there. It's just going to make your life miserable or even complex.
Amanda's goals is to run Serep 44 successfully, where the lead character is hired. And she would do whatever it takes for her to do that. Even if it means having to be harsh on other people, she will.
Kayla is conniving. He is basically the villain of Colors, or he's what stands in the way of the hero character in Colors Season 1. He's basically out to just be selfish, greedy, get his own way, and just boss everyone around. More especially the hero.
Basically, I'm the new guy in the block, and I'm very fresh with ideas, so he sees me as a threat. So of course he wants to get rid of me because he sees me as someone that can potentially replace him.
Fox is this misunderstood young man who looks like a softie, but there's a whole lot to him that meets the eye. He comes from a family of 5. He is a middle child. He loves his younger sister dearly. I also do that. I have a younger sister in real life as Miles Mokani. I have a younger sister who is like my best friend. So it was very easy to really connect with this role, with this character.
One of the highlights of the pitch was that we need to transfer skills. We need to train our local people because, as we said, that in Botswana, the TV industry is not that developed, which goes hand in hand with the skills. At the beginning, at the writing stage of the series, we actually had a workshop. That workshop was meant to train our local writers in the country.
It took us 3 months before we actually started writing. It was a general call. I was invited. So come through. We know you like testing things out. We have a workshop. We are looking for writers. There's a workshop. They brought in a writing coach, somebody who has written things that almost everybody has watched. I'm not gonna specify which ones because, hey.
You know, we were fortunate to find 4 bright young minds out of about 10 people that were shortlisted and workshopped. So these are the people that then came into the writing room, and following that existing structure now, we started further improving the story. And once that process was done, then we allocated episodes and they each started writing episodes. After the episodes were written, we still took another 4 months of editing those episodes, looking at the dialogue editing, where we would come and specifically look at what are the characters saying. We would actually speak it in the writing room and speak and say, is this something that can be spoken? And then it was spoken. And then from there, translation, because we strongly wanted the dialogue to resemble the local language, which is Tswana.
Somebody call me.
Somebody call me.
Sound is rolling.
Speed. Now. Everybody quiet on set. Quiet on set. Are you good, Mr. V? Yes. Nice.
One thing is Kayla is very driven. You know, she's all about academic excellence. She wants to be somebody in life. Also, she's in love.
And today's character, I would say, she is a traditionally rooted, compassionate and caring woman whose goals are actually to make sure that the children who are nephews and one niece, children to my late sister, are well taken care of. The idea being just to make sure that their welfare is perfect and they don't actually feel they are orphans.
Rex is a fleshy
drug lord who runs his daily business in the streets and later diversifies to the corporate world. He uses and manipulates young people around him with an example of Sparky Boy, whom he really uses to do his dirty work around. I think the story comes at a perfect moment in the sense that we have problems with drugs in our country. And we are trying to see what is the root cause and who gets drugs into the country, who supplies drugs to all these kids, why are they doing all these things? You find that there's somebody bigger, there's somebody powerful behind all this. In this case, there is Rex. And not just Rex, as the story goes on, you find that there are some people who are more powerful than this character Rex. It's very, very interesting.
Can I have silence, please?
The day starts normally, there's call times and everything issued. People get reset. We often in the morning, after we're ready to take everything, we come together and form a beautiful circle. And then we say a prayer, a symbol of unity. We all hold hands. And then after that, there is a special word, if there's any special word, before everybody, starts the day. I found that to be a very interesting way to start your day, because it sort of puts everybody in the same level, both spiritually and physically, because people just start the day that way.
Director Mr. B, firstly, I'm one person who I like positive vibes. I don't like things too serious; they become a bit too stiff. So I like to make a joke here and there, and I find that he's similar there with that. He's not uptight, you know what I mean? You can be free and relaxed around him, which is a great thing.
Now, she has a hand from here, obviously. Yeah, we're shooting.
I think she needs to massage me. I'm down. I'm like the old woman. She must
stand by.
In my ears. Promise me she'll make this big. What do you think? You get it?
No.
If there's anybody you wouldn't want to replace in this, would be the director. He helps in any way possible, and he knows all of us. It's a good thing. He has a relationship with each and every individual, from Kayla to Rex, and so on and so on.
Mr. B is the kind of a director who is not motivated by things like money, for so to speak. He's a man who is motivated by the creative side of things. He's a man who likes work to be done. And when you are a startup as a company, you really don't have, a lot of stuff like equipment, a lot of big budgets and stuff like that. So when you call him and say, okay, we have something that is happening here in Botswana, can we work together on this project? And then, of course, it's something that we need to bid for. It's not something that is not actually done already. So can you come along? He was willing to come along. And he's actually a very, very experienced person. That's another reason why I decided to work with him. He's produced and directed many TV and films in South Africa.
The guy knows what he wants, and he knows how to get it from his talent, to use his words. And I think even just molding somebody. He leads by example.
I pictured him as this Mr. Serious Warbara kind of person to work with mean face and everything, but he was actually fun. He was very, very friendly. One thing I've come to appreciate about him is that every time before we started shooting, when we were blocking scenes, he would ask us as the actors, like, how have you envisioned the way you're going to implement this scene? Like, he really valued our ideas and our opinions, even though it was his story. He was very accommodative in that department.
Well, here's the thing. But that's okay. That's on another story. Listen.
He has the guts to ask Amanda out. Like, Amanda out.
Amanda is a very, very bossy, and she has humongous goals. I feel like nobody's gonna get in the way of that. She has her own insecurities, as does everybody else, but that's how I feel like they're always a bit exaggerated because of her status.
The role of a production designer is to tell the story, but using wardrobe, set, props, makeup, and hair. And that's easier to do when I understand the vision of the director. The color palette came from a conversation between the DOP, the director and producer, and myself. We chose blues and greens and the complementary colors, reds and oranges. And the reason why we chose this, it allowed us a wider scope because we have multiple locations, characters, moods, and character journeys.
Took us almost 4 months of writing, but it was fun. Writing 26 episodes, it's not easy. You are tasked with different episodes each, and you have to make sure your story links, because it's not me writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the next guy writes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'd write 1, the next one writes 6, next thing I'm writing 12 and 18, 25. So I have to know what the previous episode was written like, and how it started and how it ends, so that it links to my episode and the next guy's, and so on.
I grew up in the border town of Ramotso, from a family of 5. My sister Kayla, my younger brother Sparks. Every Saturday, our mother used to take us to church with our father. She loved us so dearly. I really want this job, and I'll do anything.
I think he's the one.
I think not. Clearly, the guy has a lot of family baggage to deal with.
So should I guess what was like? Don't start with me, Rose. I am hungry.
Kayla, this is not right. I will not be happy with this.
We must survive. We must survive whichever way.
Kayla, we love you. I'm even paying for your school fees. I can give you money for food. What do you need from this guy?
So now that you have a job, I should just discard the man who's been taking care of us all this time.
Mom's policy was doing that.
It was never enough.
Because we are using it to buy expensive labels.
Sparks, you and I both know where some of that money went.
I wanted to protect her. Protect this family.
If you mess this one up, I promise you, your voice. Name it, Brad. Anything.
My loyal nemesis strike again today. He threatened me. He said, next time there's going to be a murder. Put your seatbelt on.
Sparks, you said we have to take care of ourselves. Of each other.
Yeah,
But what? Prostituting yourself is okay, Maranaki and say drugs are here.
I was not
was not.
The clap was not enough.
You see, just do it. Because it's too short, the camera is not seeing whether you are here.
Yeah.
You see? So when you do this, whether you shift your head, you do this. Now what? Give us a clap.
A very nice one, eh?
I was not.
Mr. B, Mr. D is still in this house.
The performance coach was excellent. I honestly learned a lot, including even the humility. He honestly helped me to appreciate a lot in terms of now coming to deliver.
He understands both film and theater, so he gets you to a point where you can be able to live or stay in that character for the time that you are needed to stay in there, and get the best results out of it.
It was great working with a performance coach. In life, it doesn't matter how long you have been acting. For you always need an assistance, and he was great. We called him the Godfather. He was so great in helping us interpret scenes, bring up the emotions. And there's one last scene where he really pushed me and said, "You know what? I want you to be there." And I got there, and when I was there, he was lost in emotions himself. And I was like, oh God, thank you.
Season 2 is going to start with a bang. Okay, where did it end? Where did season 1 end? It will start right there. But what I can tell you is that, you'll be on the watch out. Mr. Director, wherever he is, you ask him that question. Because we're also excited to see all the colors. Hey, the gunshot, boom. Who's gone? We don't know.
What I love about this story is that it's not shy to touch on issues that are affecting the family, also the societal issues. So it's not really shy about that. And it touches mostly everything that happens in our everyday life, which I feel that people need to be aware of that, and there's nothing wrong in anything that happens in our life. Life happens.
It touches base on a lot of issues, social ills, like relationships that should not be, where older men are preying on younger, helpless girls who can take care of them financially, where they can gain, sexual favors. So it touches on those social ills, touches on drug abuse, drug issues in the country, touches on drug dealers' lives, as well as generally the dysfunctional families. I believe in Africa, in the whole world, there's a lot of instability with homes where we're growing up in single parent homes. So it touches on those issues as well. It addresses them, and hopefully the audience can draw from those and learn something. Yeah.
This character in Wenkata Momas, Rex. Okay? There's a twist we wash up in Colors season 1. Yeah, Rex and Amanda.
Season 2.
Thrilling, exciting, captivating, drama.
We're gonna give out the...
Welele we. So, ikaw, hindi na tele shapeda.
We worked incredibly hard. I think our social lives suffered, but it's okay. It was worth it. And I'm excited to see how people respond to it.
So we got Mr. Bonginhlanhla to mentor our wonderful AD, this folk here. All right? Okay. Yes, because obviously we need to assist each other here and there. So we believe that he has transferred whatever is necessary, and they did have speaking and done. But I shall not be the one to say that. They can say that themselves.
I've benefited a lot, and I really appreciate this experience. Taught me.
Make me cry more.
No, it's fine to cry. You can cry.
Yeah,
you can cry.
It's quite an experience.
It was still a great experience to have somebody bring in a different place to see how else we can work, and also to find how we can relate with AD, especially since he said AD and PD tend to, friction yana. So I think it wasn't just good for AD, it was good for our other departments to see how, we can better relate.
I think it's the best production I've worked with so far, because I got a chance to work with cast who have different personalities and characters, at the same time the crew, but above all I got to work with more of like two countries coming together, like South Africa and Botswana, which was quite an experience for me.
It's great to see our industry finally growing. I mean, some of us are real artists, not people who actually didn't study this. We just say, I want to act, I want to do this. We went to study this, so we find pride in this, that international filmmakers came to Botswana and found potential in our industry, found potential in our talents as well. So,
Colors, I think it's one of the best things that ever happened here locally to start with. It's one production that keeps you on your toes. It's thrilling, it's so exciting and so beautiful. It's one production that will keep people hooked on the screens.
So you guys ready proper?
Ready prop. Yeah. We're eating these props. Don't want them to go bad. Yeah. She wiggled his before. She wants to pattern the face. But she we are doing briefing. What are you watching? You put the pictures of your sister online. Oh my goodness. Sparks realizes that it's the brother who is guilty. Oh, but he knows the he knows deep down that he is guilty. But he was that's how we are doing briefing. Okay, that was you.
That's a wrap.